Welcome back to Making Bacon PD, where we keep it simple, big on flavor, and always backyard approved. Today we're cooking up an old school favorite, direct heat ribs with a beer mop sauce. Hot, fast, juicy, and a little smoky. These ribs are ones you're going to want to try. Stick around because I've got a little trick at the end that'll take these ribs completely over the top. First things first, we gotta get that membrane off the back. I just slip a butter knife under the middle, work it through, get my fingers under there, pull up in one go, comes off clean and easy. What about you? Do you always take the membrane off, or do you leave it on? Drop your method in the comments. I'm curious how you do it as well. I also trim off those tiny bones at the ends. They're small, they burn up, and honestly, trimming them off makes the rack look way better. Now for flavor. First layer, I'm using meat Church Blanco. Nice and simple, salt, pepper, garlic flavor. Then a second layer, I'm using Hogs The BBQ Rub. Adds a little extra punch of flavor and adds a gorgeous color when it's done cooking. Once seasoned up, let the ribs sit for a few minutes while we set up the grill. That rub's gonna melt in, penetrate the meat all the way down to the bone, getting flavor all the way through. While the grill's coming up to temp, let's whip up a quick beer mop sauce. I'm just eyeballing the measurements here, but we're gonna go with a little bit of barbecue sauce. You can use any barbecue sauce you want. Today I'm using Guy Fieri's Hickory. A little bit of apple cider vinegar. One can of beer. You can use any beer that you want as well. Today we're using a Busch Latte. Next we're going to go in with a little bit of barbecue rub and whisk it up. I actually forgot to add a few dashes of Worcestershire sauce and a few dashes of soy sauce. Whisk everything together until it's fully incorporated. Since we're doing direct heat, hot and fast, I like to put a water pan in my grill. Sets up a 2-zone cooking fire. The water will catch any juices, but it will also keep the cooking chamber humid and help not dry out the ribs under that hot heat. We're going to start bone side down over the cool side of the grill to get the cooking process started. Let it sit for about 4 to 5 minutes. Next I'm flipping the meat side down over the hot coals. After another 4 to 5 minutes, flip the bone side down over the direct heat. Every few minutes I'm just checking the ribs to make sure they aren't getting too dark or burnt. If they do start to get a little too dark, you can always move them back to the cooler side of the grill. After about a half hour of flipping, I'm going to start hitting the ribs with this delicious mop sauce. Hit the back side, cover the grill, let it sit for 5 minutes. Flip it, hit the top side with that mop sauce. That sauce is going to run off onto those hot coals and just adds more flavor to the smoke. Again, if the ribs are getting too dark, you can move them to the cooler side of the grill to finish cooking. Keep repeating the process until the ribs are probe tender in between the bones and have a great color. You want the ribs to bend but not break. These ribs look done to me. Have you ever cooked ribs this way? Let me know in the comments. Now, for a tip to take these ribs over the top. Lay out some foil, put a thin line of sauce down on the foil. Lay the ribs meat side down and wrap them up nice and tight. Let the ribs rest for 10 to 15 minutes. It's going to keep these ribs tender and add a bit more flavor as they rest. Let's unwrap and see how they turned out. They smell amazing. Flip them meat side down, start slicing in between the bones. Just makes it easier to see which way the bones run. Look at that color, wow. Now let's give them a taste. Wow, that is completely different than smoked ribs. Different texture, different flavor, but amazing. Tastes almost like a mini pork chop. Very tender, juicy, comes off the bone clean. So let's recap. 1. Pull the membrane. 2. Season the ribs. 3. Place the ribs on the grill. 4. Flip often. 5. Mop sauce. 6. Wrap and rest. 7. Enjoy. Hope you enjoyed this video. As always, all products, ingredients, and directions are going to be in the description below. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss a chance to fire up something good. I'm Dan, your off-duty cop with on-duty flavor. And as always, keep making bacon.